Okay, this is test 1, corrective C. It'll be similar to what you're doing. You'll either have A or B. So I recommend that you attempt the problem. When you get done with the problem, hit play to see if you did it right. Maybe you want to watch the problem first and then do yours, or I don't know, whatever you think you need to do. But matrix is, you need to do the operation that is indicated. There's a plus sign here, so that means we are going to combine these two matrices. Doesn't mean we're going to add. So in your calculator, you might want to go 6 plus negative 19. Okay, and then I'm going to make my matrix. This is going to be my answer matrix right here. 6 plus negative 19 is negative 13. Okay, so 6 plus negative 9 is negative 13. Negative 13 plus negative 2 is negative 15. 4 plus 12 is 16. Negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18. All right? So now we come down here, and it's the same thing, except now we're going to go 2 minus 1. So we go 2 minus 1. Here's my matrix. 2 minus 1 is 1. Negative 11 minus negative 5. So these two minuses become plus. So it's negative 11 plus 5. That becomes plus negative 6. 7 minus 14, negative 7. Negative 5 minus 15. See, negative 5 and minus 15, the signs are now the same. Negative 20. 10 minus 3, 7. Negative 3 minus 7, so that's negative 3 plus 7, which is a positive 4. Here, we're going to multiply everything by 1/2. Now, please do not convert to decimals. So 1/2 times 7 is really 7 over 2. So that's what I'm going to write. This becomes too small now. I need to make this a little bigger. Seven over 2. 1/2 times 2 is 1. I'm cutting the numbers in half. When you multiply by 1/2, you're cutting them in half. 1/2 times negative 4 is negative 2. 1/2 times negative 5 is negative 5 over 2. Don't convert it to a decimal. 1/2 times 6 is negative 6 is negative 3. And 1/2 times positive 4 is positive 2. Okay, then we come up here. This matrix right here is what A equals. This is substitution. I'm going to take my negative sign right here, and I'm going to put my matrix here. 5, 9, negative 10, negative 15. So that means that negative 1 times this matrix. All I have to do is change the signs of everything in my matrix. So this becomes negative 5, negative 9, positive 10, positive 15. There we go. Okay, there's competency 1. Competency 1 on the test will be all matrix. Here's competency 2. Evaluate the algebraic expression. So I'm going to rewrite it. 5 empty parentheses squared minus empty parentheses. Negative 1 goes in for the x. 12 goes in for the y. Now, I'm glad that this is a negative, because anytime you square a negative, the answer is always going to be positive. This is negative 1 times negative 1. So this becomes 5 times positive 1 minus 12, which equals 5 minus 12, which equals 5 minus 12 is negative 7. I'm rewriting the entire problem, except instead of my letter, I'm putting an empty parenthesis. Where the A is, oops, I forgot my square. Please don't do that. Where the A is, I put 3, so that's 3 squared. My B is 4. My C is 1. So this equals 9 minus 8 over 5, and that equals 1 over 5, 1/5. Do not change that to a decimal. Do not. Squared minus 4AC. All right, B is 8. A is 5. C is 2. Okay, 8 squared. What's 8 times 8? 64 minus 20 times 2, so that is minus 40. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 times 2 is negative 40. 64 minus 40 is 24. Yep, there we go. Okay, I got to be honest. I can't do any more of these. All right, I mean, it's very simple. Substitute in, yada, yada, yada. All right, now let's talk about combining like terms. Negative 6x and I wanted to use a highlighter, but I'm going to actually use a pen. Negative 6x and positive 11x are like terms. This becomes 5x. Okay? Now, 8, positive 9, and negative 5 are also like terms. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 plus 8 is positive 12. That's my answer right there. I'm done. I'm done. That's my answer. This one I have to distribute. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Must keep the y. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10 plus 7y. Well, now I have negative 15y and positive 7y. So that negative 10 just stays negative 10. It's not going to be combined with anything. Negative 15 plus 7 is 8. Negative 8. Negative 8, y. 15 minus 7 is 8. 15 is negative. The answer has to be negative. Got to keep your y. Okay. Here I have p to the 7th and negative 9p to the 7th. Those are like terms because they both, you have to have the same exponent. Now, what number is in front of the p here that's understood? 1. That's right, a 1. So now I'm going to combine 1 and negative 9 to get negative 8 p to the 7th. P to the 7th and p to the 5th are not the same. So 4 minus 11 is minus 7 p to the 5th. All right. Again, m cubed. These are the same. And these are the same. M cubed and m are not the same. Here you're going to have to distribute again. So you're going to get 6a minus 14a minus 11a. You see what they did to you here? Your distributor has an a. You might want to look up here. If when you're combining like terms, if your distributor has an a, negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. You have to keep your a. Negative 2 times positive 7 is negative 14. You have to keep your a. Okay. Competency 4, absolute value. I'm not going to do 15. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3. So now I'm going to go absolute value of 2 times negative 5 plus 7. Keep that in my absolute value bars. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3. So this gives me the absolute value of negative 3, which equals 3. You have to simplify the absolute value before you can do anything else. Same thing with number 17. 5 minus 8 is negative 3, so I get the opposite of the absolute value of negative 3 plus 2. These two negatives do not make a positive. The absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3, but then I bring down my negative, makes it negative, plus 2 equals negative 1. I am not going to write the following numbers in order from least to greatest. If you can't do that, I'm sorry. I'm also not going to graph these on a number line. If you have problems with these two, you have got to come in and see me one-on-one. Okay, the last competency, solving for x. All right, we're going to do it just like I told you to yesterday. I am going to ship negative 7. That's right. I'm on the internet and I'm shipping. I'm going to ship negative 7. How do I ship negative 7 to the other side? This thing has to get away from the x. It has to move over here. You do that by adding 7 to both sides. Put a line underneath here because you're adding. So you need your equal sign. Remember when you added 4 plus 5 and you had your equal sign? 9. That's what we're doing. Okay? We're kicking it old school. Now you're like, wait a minute, we're not adding because, oh yeah, we are. But even when it's a negative and a positive, you're still combining. These cancel. That leaves me 6x equals 11 plus 7 is 18. Now, what do I do here? I'm going to rewrite it up here. How do I get rid of the 6? Divide both sides by 6 because that's multiplication. So these 6's cancel. So x equals, if you say 18 over 6, you're wrong. Because it can reduce. 2 can go into both of these. So now, if I divide these by 2, I get 9 over 3. Well, that can be reduced. 3 can go into both of those, so I really get 3 over 1, which is 3. Because 6 will go into 18. How many times will 6 go into 18? 3 times. So this equals 3. You have to reduce. Again, here's my loaner. I got to ship it. It's a positive 1. That means I'm going to subtract 1 to both sides. Now, these cancel, leaving me negative 4x equals negative 20 minus 1 is not 19. It's negative 21. Again, I'm going to rewrite it over here so I have more room. Now I divide both sides by negative 4 because that's what I'm being multiplied. Look how I put my division bar to say divide. Now this cancels. Will 4 go into 21 evenly? No, it won't. So this does not reduce. However, if you leave negative over a negative, you're wrong. Negative over negative make a. So now I write x equals 21 over 4. 22, 23, 24 are all the same. So there you go. All right. If you have any questions, please come in and see me. Have a great day.